The story begins in early 1991, and the Lightning Association is seeking an aircraft to rescue from the scrapman's torch and earmarked for preservation. In June 1991, the association was offered XR724, a lifeless engineless airframe, but which turned out to be in such good condition the group decided to recover it for flight and hopefully display. Several diverse groups came together, and with the particular support of the Plymouth-based Lightning Flying Club, who loaned 2 engines, the aircraft was reassembled. January 1992 saw the aircraft complete and ready for its first engine test. The aircraft was now 100% serviceable and ready to fly. All it needed was for the Civil Aviation Authority to issue a permit. Unfortunately, the conditions imposed by the CAA were impossible to meet, and the aircraft remained grounded for 6 months. It was proving costly in fuel and manpower to perform the obligatory routine engine starts, and the aircraft's continued presence on a military airfield was becoming an embarrassment. The Lightning Association appealed to British Aerospace, the original manufacturers, and they offered to inspect the aircraft and fly it themselves to Binbrook under a military serial. And so it was, on a cold and windswept July day, that XR724 returned to its former home, from where the CAA can be pursued and, it is hoped, allow the aircraft to fly again.
airplane back again. Thank you. It's yours now. Thank you.
And a team of volunteers have secured permissions and also secured funds to build a temporary aircraft hangar at the former RAF Binbrook site. Now, the shelter is going to house the Lightning F6 XR724. Plane aficionados will know what this is, basics plane, and they're going to have plans to create space for members of the public to visit, and also they want to return the fighter jet to its former glory. So Chris Ray went to meet members of the Lightning Association as they assembled their new toy.
My name is John Lee. I'm a volunteer at the Lightning Association. I love the project element of this. I find it a massive Meccano set. We had a bit of a, I won't say crisis meeting, but it was a what are we doing type meeting. There was only 4 of us, so I decided let's start some Facebook presence, and then basically we grew from there.
Steve Baker. We are RAF Binbrook, or the former RAF Binbrook. The Lightning Association is some volunteers who basically give up their spare time to help restore the jet and maintain the jet. It's been under the care of the Lightning Association for 30 years, since it flew in, and it had its 30th anniversary last July. And it's been outside and exposed to the elements for 30 years. It's had a lot of love and attention. The elements have taken the toll on the paintwork. You know, the long-term plan is to paint it, which hopefully will start properly this year, and sort of start making it look pretty again, as it did in service. It'll be the correct colour scheme. And then it'll be going into the new aircraft shelter that we recently received a planning permission for. Last week we got permission to go ahead and build the shelter, which was fantastic news. And that was possible by a lot of generous people through GoFundMe's. We've had individual private donations, and we've also sold merchandise and eBay sales, and we've worked very hard behind the scenes to raise this money to build the shelter. By the end of February, early March, we should have the canvas onto the framework, and then we can tow the aircraft into its new home. Long-term plans would be, after the repaint, is to run the engines. So by running the engines, it does help preserve all the systems and keep them live. So at the minute, the aircraft is electrically and hydraulically live, but we just need to run the engines, starting with number 1. So we're working on number 1. That's been overhauled, the reheat system, etc., and all the fuel systems that go to the engines. Everything's been done correctly. So we have ex-RAF people in the group, and they follow the correct procedures. All the work is signed and countersigned, and it goes into the aircraft XR724 that we would have had in service with the aircraft. So everything's done correctly. It's a live aircraft. The long-term plans really is to make the area safe. We've got a building going up. We will have the aircraft in the shelter. We're making the grounds safer, more accessible, so less trip hazards, etc. And we will really then be looking at maybe days where, you know, we can have open days and people can come round and have a good look at aircraft in a safe environment.
I love that. This is a huge Meccano set for him. Very good way to break that down. You can actually see a video of volunteers working on the Lightning F6 on the BBC Radio Homicide Facebook page now. So go and have a look at that. You know, people are going to be enjoying seeing that. Particularly, you might want to go down and see if you can give them a hand in fixing it. Do you know what I mean? That sounds like a lot of handymen and women's dream, doesn't it? Getting their hands on an actual fighter jet and helping do it up, man. It's a new Pit My Ride, isn't it? Like Pit My Plane. Everybody's just got most people just got a fighter jet just lying around in their back garden, haven't they? You know, just come and do it up, man. Get it flying in, get it working.